Now coming to the second part, that is the transportation of CO2. Transportation of CO2 is from tissue to the alveoli, we know that. Now total amount of carbon dioxide produced inside the body, how the CO2 is produced, we have seen the reaction, and at the last we are going to see the reaction. But that CO2 produced needs to be eliminated out of the body. For that, transportation of CO2 is from tissue to alveoli is done. So it is divided into majorly three forms, okay, by using obviously RBCs and the plasma. Okay, three forms we are going to see. First one is the by the plasma in the solution form. Okay, so it is 7%. So out of total CO2, 7% of CO2 it is transported from tissue to the alveoli along with the plasma. So reaction is that CO2 plus H2O, you can see the reaction on your screen by plasma level. CO2 plus H2O, it will combines to form H2CO3, that is nothing but the carbonic acid by using the carbonic anhydrase. Okay, this is the reversible reaction. That means in the tissue level, CO2 combines with water to form carbonic acid. That carbonic acid it is unstable, but it travels to the up to the alveolar region, and when it comes to the alveoli region, then again it dissociates into the CO2 and H2, and now that CO2 is released into the alveoli. This is the 7%. Okay, CO2 and H2O combines H2CO3, it comes to the alveolar region, and again it dissociates into the CO2 and H2O, and that CO2 is going to pass into the alveoli. This is the one type of transportation. Second, by the red blood cells. Okay, second is nothing but the red blood cells, and it is 23%. 23% of carbon dioxide it is transported by using that red blood cells. Generally in that hemoglobin is responsible. So in the tissue level, hemoglobin combines with CO2. The reaction is that Hb plus CO2. Okay, that amino group of the CO2 is combines with amino group of hemoglobin, and it will form a carbaminohemoglobin. Carbaminohemoglobin, that is HbCO2. Now that carbaminohemoglobin travels along with the blood to the alveolar region, and when it comes to the alveolar region, it readily dissociates into the hemoglobin and CO2, and now that CO2 is released into the alveoli. Okay, this is the second process. Okay, we need to transport the CO2. So first, by using plasma along with the water, it forms carbonic acid, and when it comes to the alveoli, it releases the CO2. Second, by using the red blood cells, it combines with the hemoglobin, it travels along the blood, comes to the alveolar region, and it releases the CO2 into the alveoli. These are the two forms. And third is very much important, by bicarbonate ions. Okay, in the form of bicarbonate ions, this is very important, and 70% of CO2 is transported by that method or that process called as bicarbonate. We have already seen. Now what is the reaction inside the tissue to form a bicarbonate ion? Okay, the reaction is on your screen. CO2 plus H2O, it will form carbonic acid, that is H2CO3, by using an enzyme carbonic anhydrase. Okay, and it is a reversible reaction, it can be reversed. Okay, so arrows are like that, reversible reaction. Now that H2CO3 it is unstable, okay, in the tissue level, so it readily dissociates into H plus and HCO3 minus, that is a bicarbonate. Okay, this happens inside the tissue firstly. So this reaction, CO2 plus H2O, it will form H2CO3 by using carbonic anhydrase. So carbonic acid is formed. that carbonic acid is unstable, so it dissociates into the HCO3 minus and H plus ions by using again carbonic anhydride. Now by that process into the cells or into the blood, the HCO3 minus, that is bicarbonate ions, are increased. Okay, number of bicarbonate ions is going to be increased. Now again what happens? So that HCO3 minus, it is increases, so it is released from the RBC into the plasma. Okay, RBC into the plasma. So if the HCO3 minus gets released from the RBCs, to balance the plasma and the RBCs level, chloride is going to enter into the RBCs. So it is called as chloride shifts. Okay, H plus and HCO3 minus is there. When HCO3 gets released, something has to be there to balance to that conditions. So Cl minus is going to add it into the RBC. So it is called as chloride shifts. Okay, or it is called as Hamburger's phenomenon. This is about the chloride shifts. Now the HCO3 minus, it is in the plasma and H plus is in the RBCs. So that H plus is going to combine with the hemoglobin, that is a protein. If it doesn't happen, the H plus ions will decrease the pH of the blood. So that's why it is combines with the hemoglobin to form reduced HB, that is HHB. H plus HB, it will form HHB, that is reduced hemoglobin. And HCO3 minus in the plasma, it is going to combine with the sodium or potassium. Okay, then if it is combined with the sodium, then HCO3 minus plus Na plus, it will form a NaHCO3, that is sodium bicarbonate. Okay, in the plasma, sodium bicarbonate is formed. In the RBCs, reduced hemoglobin is formed. Then that blood is traveled from tissue to the alveoli, and when it comes to the alveolar region, we know that okay, there is a partial pressure of CO2 is less into the alveolar region. So when sodium bicarbonate and reduced HB is there, it is going to dissociate. Okay, at the alveolar region, it is going to be dissociate. Okay, that NaHCO3 will dissociate to release the HCO3 minus, and reduced HB releases H plus. Now again that H plus and HCO3 minus will combine to form a H2CO3, that is carbonic acid. We know that it is unstable, so it dissociates into the CO2 and H2O. Okay, and that CO2 is transferred to the alveoli. So reaction here is H plus HCO3 minus. Okay, H plus HCO3 minus, it is H plus HCO3 minus, it is going to combine with H2CO3 by using carbonic anhydrase. It is unstable, then it is converted into the H2O and CO2 by using again carbonic anhydrase. So these are the two reactions. You can see two pictures on your screen. Okay, in first picture you can see the transportation of CO2 from tissue to blood, that is RBC and the blood. That is one reaction. Okay, and second is nothing but the red blood cells to the alveoli. It is different. So first reaction, okay, first long reaction, it is related with that first picture from tissue to blood. Okay, for that first reaction, first long reaction, that is CO2 plus H2O, it will form H2CO3 and H plus and HCO3 minus is formed. And second reaction, for second picture, second reaction is there, last reaction, H plus HCO3 minus, it will form H2CO3 and that CO2 and H2. Reverse reaction is there, it will form. Now you can understand that by all that processes, the CO2 is going to transport from tissue to the alveolar region. So we need to expand, and it happens during the expiration. Okay, and when it comes to the alveoli, from the lungs and from the trachea, then it comes to nasal chamber, and by the nose it is exhaled out of the body. So this is all about the carbon dioxide transportation. Now you can understand the processes of transportation of oxygen and transportation of CO2, and it is about the all transport. And when the oxygen comes to the cellular level, tissue level, what will happen? For that last process is there, that is called as cellular respiration. Okay, from outside oxygen is come to the tissue, but what happens in the tissue to form a ATP? That is called as the cellular respiration. Here in the cellular respiration, the food is going to oxidize, and there is a formation of ATP is there. For that process, for that two processes are there. One is the oxidation and second one is the phosphorylation. Okay, oxidation, in that complex organic food, it is going to dissociate, okay, to form some of the heat energy. So reaction is there. Whatever the oxygen we are getting from that all processes, it is combines with the glucose. Okay, C6H12O6 plus 6O2. Oxygen we are getting and glucose we are getting from the food. So that oxygen and glucose combines, oxidation of glucose takes place to form a 6CO2. Now here CO2 is formed. Okay, that's how CO2 is produced into the body. CO2 is formed, then water is formed, and some of the calories are produced. Heat energy is produced here. Now that heat energy, it is used in the phosphorylation process. Okay, in that adenosine diphosphate is there. Okay, and phosphorylation of that adenosine diphosphate is to form ATP, and at that time that heat energy it is used. So reaction is that ADP plus IP, that is inorganic phosphate, plus some of the calories to form a ATP. So glucose, oxygen and heat energy will form an ATP, and during that ATP formation CO2 is produced, that it is eliminated through the expiration. We have already seen. So this is about the respiration. Okay, summary of that is that first we are starting with the respiration with breathing, inspiring and expiration. Okay, one inspiration and expiration is called as the breathing. Then we come to the external respiration, that means from outside it comes to the capillary, alveoli to capillary. Okay, in that inspiration and expiration we have seen. Inspiration means taking in and expiration means taking out. How it will happens from alveoli to capillary we have seen. Then we have seen the internal respiration, in that transportation of oxygen and transportation of CO2. Oxygen from alveoli to tissue and CO2 from tissue to alveoli. How it is transported we have seen. And during all that, when it comes oxygen to the cells, what will happen? It will combine, it oxidizes the food to get some energy and to form an ATP. And during that process, whatever CO2 is produced inside the cells, it is going to eliminate through the transportation of CO2, and by the expiration it releases out of the body. This is about the respiration. In the next lecture we are going to see the regulation of the breathing.